Hi everyone, I'm Michael Chua and you're watching the Chua channel. I'm bringing you the best in food, travel, entertainment, and anything else that strikes my fancy. Please like and subscribe to join me in the adventure. Today we are going to a charming place that Cory found in Guadalajara called Casa De Los Platos. It's high-end Mexican food located at Sao Paulo 2367 Providencia 44630, Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico. This place has everything. Great food, phenomenal service, the perfect atmosphere for dates or special occasions. And I absolutely love it. So let's take a look.
I was just saying, like Casa De Los Platos and the restaurant that we ate at yesterday, like so far in Mexico, their steps of service are on point. Like they always give like the clips before the shared dish, like really attentive service, spot on, amazing. I almost feel like we have like one server just to ourselves. Like the minute we need something, right? They're like right here.
This is a small version of the torta ahogada. Oh, and what is that? Cheese dish. Okay, well, I'm gonna dig in. So far, we've really taken good advantage of places that have these great patios. All the places we've gone have just been gorgeous outside. I mean, look at this. It's beautiful. And they have vines that are growing up the sides that must have taken many years for them to grow. So far, our appetizer really had great flavors and was tasty. Oh well, it's just, yeah. Yeah, we got like tortillas with different types of salsa and a bean dip with some type of cheese. And then we have a lot more dishes coming out, so I'm excited about those. So Cory and I were just talking about the architecture, and based on the fact that you can see parts of it that are broken off, I think that these arches used to be part of an old building that are on both sides, and they just opened it up and built a new roof and extended it. I think it's quite beautiful. These lights are also interesting. They have engraved at the bottom the name of the restaurant in the metal. And over here you can see the vines that we had talked about. It's really hard to make vines grow. I mean, that takes years and years in order to build them.
It's really hard to give this place justice. The atmosphere is, I don't know. It's like earlier when that girl was singing, like there's something about Mexico and like just the vibe. Like I've been getting goosebumps. Like half these dishes have made me tear up. It's kind of sad, right? It's unbelievable. It's so beautiful.
And I also really like the lighting that they have. You know, when we came in here, it was still bright, but now you can see the different blues and purples along the tree, and they have these really nice little lanterns. one thing I'd also like to say is come hungry, because I mean, I was hungry and we ordered a bunch of different plates and they were all so good that I was stuffed. But, you know, we're asking them for boxes to take some of it home. I think that this place is just absolutely gorgeous. So we were actually having a debate because we were talking about the restaurant we went to last night, which was Alcalde, and this restaurant, and seeing how they compared. And he asked me on my deathbed, would I rather eat here or eat at Alcalde? And
death row last meal.
Yeah, death row last meal. And I said mine would be Alcalde, and he said that it would probably, his would be more here.
So I think it gets back more to like food and like what food means. And like tonight's meal was like we got barbecue ribs in Mexico, right? And we got these sliced baked potatoes that we didn't even know were coming. And I was telling him, I was like, this would be mine because those are flavors and dishes that spark like joy from childhood, right? Like I grew up on those dishes, and so to have some of my best dishes in Mexico, like this would be like my go-to, right? So if you're a Midwest corn-fed hoe, come to La Casa De Los Platos, because literally they do some really impressive, like what I consider American dishes better.
The reason I preferred Alcalde is because actually I like fish, and I think that's the important thing. He didn't like fish, so we actually asked them if they would be able to change their tasting menu to accommodate his likes.
Which they did.
They did. And they did a fantastic job. But you know, some of the changes they made actually changed the dish completely. For example, they had this toasted cracker-like thing with like little flowers, but mine was over some, I believe, halibut.
Yeah.
And his was over roasted beets. And they had very different flavor profiles, even though both of them tasted really good.
And it was a lot of beets, and I love that they, again, catered to me for the tasting menu. But the beets almost like took on, like, you know, you can only eat so many beets. So for me, that wasn't my favorite dish. Whereas when he had it how it was supposed to be, it was his favorite dish. So, you know, I tried to change things up, and it wasn't as good of a meal completely. And also, like in the link, we'll tag Alcalde, even though that, like, I think this is going to be for La Casa de los Platos. But like just comparing Alcalde to this, they are very different in price. Like $100 was a bottle of wine and a huge course meal and two drinks for $100 with tip. Whereas Alcalde is a whole different experience because you are getting the Michelin star tasting menu and you're paying like 3 times more. So, you know, it is what you prefer.
For here, the ribs that we had, the meat was falling off the bone. They served it on this sizzling platter that we were afraid to touch at first.
Yeah. I mean, regardless, whatever you choose, if you choose one of these two restaurants, you're not going to be disappointed. They're both great service, they're both great food. One's just elevated, one makes you feel like you are at a Michelin star restaurant, whereas one makes you feel like you're at just like elevated cocktail bar / like, you know, like a Beretta in San Francisco, or I don't know. They're both great.
Okay, so final thoughts, what do you think?
Final thoughts were, well, I cleaned it up. Un momento, por favor. So, our bill was, can you see this?
Over here. Yeah.
So, 1,670 pesos comes to roughly like 80 bucks.
Yeah.
We had a 4-course meal. We had 2 amazing appetizers. We had a huge rib dish with like a twice-baked potato, multiple sauces. Like they gave us a starter that we didn't even order. And then we also got an order of tacos that came with like 5 tacos and like a whole side of this al pastor like meat. We also got this bottle of Tempranillo.
So, I mean, it's well priced. The service is great.
Well priced is an understatement. If this is like the biggest bang for your buck, well, like, it's the best meal I've ever had.
We live in San Francisco, so it's well priced compared to San Francisco. But yeah, really good.
I feel like I got my money's worth and hand over foot. I think that if I was charged $300 for this meal, it would have been well worth it.
So, cheers.
Cheers.